Hello, welcome to C Language Technical Discussion. I am Rajendra here from APSSDC. So far we are discussing the functions categories in the previous session. Just we have discussed the function categories. Today also we are going to discuss on functional categories. So we have seen the example programs on a function with a returned value and without returning a value, a function as receiving a value, parameters, a function without parameters. Okay. Today we are also discussing the void function. What is void function and void function. So many programs we have written the void functions. Okay. What is void function? How do we write void function? Now today we will discuss, and some more things also will be discussed. So void function means a function which does not return any value to the calling function is called void function. I repeat, a function does not return any value is called void function. Void means nothing. Void means, general meaning of void means nothing. Okay. Void function means nothing is returned to the calling function. A function which does not return any value is called void function. For example, here I will write one program void f1, void f1, just to see this one, printf any message. You can write anything. That means that we are not returning any value. Okay. So we are not returning any value means you have to write here return type should be void. This is return type, we know that return type should be void. Void means there is no return statement in this program, we are not returning any value to the calling function, that is the meaning of the void. Means we are not returning, this f1 function is not returning any value to the calling function is called void function. Okay. I will write one example so that you can understand better. Hash include stdio.h. stdio.h means standard input output dot header file. So this header file is for printf and scanf predefined functions. Next, hash include conio.h. This header file is for CLR, SCR and getCH function. Okay. So here I am writing the calling function. Calling function means void main this function prototype, this is function prototype void f1. f1 is the name of the function. This is function prototype or function declaration. So before calling the function, we must declare the function whatever you are calling that function. Now I am going to call f1 function. So f1. This is a calling function. So next, here I am writing the called function. Called function void f1 okay, you can write any message here, but printf, this is void function. This is a calling function, this is called function, means I am not returning anything to the calling function. So, first main function is executed, execution starts from the main function. Next, this is a function declaration or function prototype. Okay, function declaration and function prototype we must write in the calling function, otherwise system leads to error, but it is only we have to write in the C and C++ only. In Java there is no function prototype. This is a function declaration. Next, this is function calling. This is function calling. So, function, whenever this function is called, this function is going to be executed. Void f1, printf, this is void function. This is void function. This message is displayed on the monitor. So, the moment it is executed, again control back to the calling function. So, here what, why we are writing void means we are not at all using the return statement. Okay. So, this is void function, but you can send the any parameters also, that is no problem. For example, if you want to write into a, here just I want to send one parameter, you can write here, no problem, because this is we are sending the parameters, but it is a void, means we are not returning anything. We are not returning anything. It is okay. Next, I want to write here one return statement, return of 1. Now then we will get the one, we will get error, because whenever there is a void function, you should not return any value or variable or expression, because it is a void function. It won't allow to return the value to the calling function, because it is a void function. Void means not returning any value to the calling function. Okay. In some books, some people in the books also they will write void f1 of void also. Okay. In the some books we can find, that means there is no argument list. The meaning of this one is no argument list. If there is no argument list also, they will write void here. If you do not write also, nothing wrong. Okay. Generally I do not write, but if you are habituated to write here void, you can write, no problem. Okay. Here in the function heading, if you are writing the here void means there is no argument list, formal parameters, means it will not take any values from the calling. That is the meaning of this one. Okay. Now, we will see the whatever we discussed now, void function. Void function means a function does not return any value is called as void function. It informs, this function means compiler knows, compiler was informed compiler knows that the function does not return a value, any value or variable. Okay. Example, hash include stdio.h void main void f1 function func, it is a function call, this is function prototype, or function declaration. Next, we are writing the called function. This is calling function. Now, I am going to define the called function, that is void function printf, this is void function. The meaning means we are not written. Even main also you can observe here void function, because in the main function also we are not returning anything. If you want to return anything, return of 0 means you can write here integer. You are returning something, so you have to write int. You have to write int here, because you are writing return of 0. So, whenever you are writing return of 0, return type should be int. So, here I am not returning anything, so return type should be void. So, in case a function does not return a value or it does not receive any values, that is function does not have any arguments. Here arguments means parameters. Parameters, it can be declared using void. Using void. Void. Okay. So, here just example void, you can write function, any function, this is function declaration, this is function declaration, declaration for void means there is no parameters, you are not sending any parameters, you are not receiving any parameters. This is return nothing, this is empty set, receiving nothing. So, there are some uses are also there for the void, uses of void, void function, uses of void function. What are they? We have actually 3 uses. to declare explicitly a function returning no value. To declare explicitly a function returning no value. Okay. Second point, to declare explicitly a function having no arguments. A function having no arguments, also we can use a void. Here the first example is void f1. Second example, void f1 or function of void. Third point, to create a generic pointer. The third point, the third use we will be discussed in the future classes. Okay. So, I will explain this second use, a function having no arguments. A function having no arguments. Now, we will write one example program. A function having no arguments. int sum void int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int produce product equal to a star b. Return product. So, this means that we are not at all returning passing any value. This indicates that okay, a function having no arguments. A function does not have arguments. Here title is a function does not have arguments. A function does not have arguments. So, we are not at all, so this is called function. How it will be calling function? Void main. So, we have to write the function declaration here, int sum void semicolon, int void semicolon. Next function call sum, that is it. Int a, okay, A equal to sum of just printf %d \n A. First execution start from here. This is function declaration, int sum of void, next int a semicolon. This is a variable declaration. One variable is created somewhere in the memory. Okay. This means a is eligible to store integer values. A equal to sum. This is nothing but a function call. So, whenever this function is called, okay, so this function is executed, means we are not at all sending any values to this function, means it is void. We are not sending any values. A function does not have no argument, means this function defined used to when we do not want to pass, any arguments from the function call to the function. When we do not want to pass any values or parameters to the function from the function call, then we write the void. If you do not write also no problem, this is optional. So, here 10 and 20, 10 is stored in A, 20 is stored in B. Okay. Product, third variable also created somewhere in the memory. Next, product equal to A into B, this 10 into 20, thus value is stored into product. Okay. This product means this value is returned to the calling function. Here 200 means it is a integer value. So, return type is integer. Here, because we are returning the here product is nothing but a integer. Okay. This is returned to wherever it is called. So, it is replaced with this value. So, 200 is stored into this local variable A. These A and B will be lost because the scope, these are local to the sum function only. These values are not at all visible to in this main function. So, because we are returning. So, 200 printf A means this value is displayed on the monitor. End of the main function, because it is we are using a return statement and return type is integer. We are returning the integer value, so return type is integer. We are not passing any value, so here we are writing the void. A function does not have arguments, means in the parenthesis we write the void. Okay. So, here this is the example for this one. When we compile this program, okay, means we will see the output on the screen. Okay. This is the example program for a function does not have arguments. So, for example, if I want to, I do not want to write here, simply I want to display the output here only. Printf %d A product. So, we will get the error here. We will get the error because return type is integer means this expects one return value. This calling function expects some value. So, it leads to error. We are writing the return type integer, but we are not at all returning any value. So, it leads to error. We must return some value or else make it as void. If you do not want to return any value to the calling function, make it as void function. Make it as void function, then no problem, because we are writing integer. So, you have to write here return statement, or else we have to write here void, either void or return statement. So, I want to write here return statement only. Return of product. Okay. What happens if I am not writing this void? No problem, because it is optional. Because it is optional. Because it is optional, no problem. That means that we are not returning any value to the calling function. So, better to write here void whenever you are not passing any value from the calling function to the called function, then you can write here void means there is no parameter to be received here. That is indicates that there is no parameter to be received here. For that reason only we write the void here. Okay. Next we write on one more program, a display mathematical table for a given value. Display mathematical table for a given value. So, we are going to write one program. Another example for this one is display mathematical table for a given value. So, we must, because I am going to use one, this is space is for header files. So, I am not writing due to the space problem, you can include. So, first I am writing calling function void main, void space main, beginning of the main function, int n semicolon. Here n is a variable of type integer. Okay. One variable is created. Next void, this is variable declaration, void user defined function name table int semicolon. This is nothing but a function declaration. This is variable declaration, this is function declaration. Okay. Means we are going to return, we are going to pass some value to the function from the calling function to the function. So, we are not, it is not going to return any value because it is a void. Next printf enter any value, enter any value \n, enter any value \n. Next scanf %d %n. I entered some value, that value is stored into n. For example, I entered 2 value, 2 is read from the keyboard and stored into variable n. Next I have to write the function call table what I have to send, that is n value have to send, n value have to send. Okay. Next get ch, end of the main function, end of the main function. Next, so this is calling function, have to write the called function, that is what is a void table, right, void table, this is function heading int n, int n. Next int I, int I. Next for I equal to 1, how many times? 10 times, right. So I less than or equal to 10, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. So here we have to write the calculation here, that is printf %d star %d, that is n comma %d into %d, n comma I, n into I, n into I. Printf %d into %d equal to %d. Okay. Next new line it has to go, right. Here just I am writing the next line, actually due to the space problem. So here what have to write n into n comma I comma n into I, this is the result. Okay. This is n, this is I, this is n into I, n into I value will come here. Next, we are not returning any value here, closing the end of the for loop, end of the table function, end of the table function. First for example, this n value we are input is 2, input is 2, 2 is stored into variable n, 2 is stored into variable n. Next, this is variable declaration, this is function declaration. The meaning of function declaration means we are going to use table function call in the current program, that is the meaning of the function prototype. Next, so value is read and stored into n. Next, table of n, it is nothing but a function call, it is nothing but a function call. So whenever this function is called, this value is copied to here. Here instead of n you can write any value, any variable name. Okay. This n and this n and both are different, memory locations are different. Okay. Never think, don't think that we have to write the same variable name. Okay. You can write in a different variable name also, no problem, there is no unique names. Okay. Here I have written here n, you can write here p also, no problem. Okay. No need to be same, if you write the same also no problem, because these two are different memory locations. Int I, one local variable I is created. First I equal to 1, I equal to 1, okay, 1 less than or equal to 10, which is true. Next printf percentile d means n, n means what here, 2 into another percentile d, that is I means 1, equal to percentile d n star I, n means 2 into 1, that is 2. Okay, will be displayed. Next iteration, I plus plus, I is incremented by 1 that is 2, that is 2, 2 less than or equal to 10, 2 less than or equal to 10, which is also true, condition becomes true. Next printf percentile d means corresponding variable, that is n, n means 2, that is 2, star into percentile d corresponding this format specifier variable is I, I means 2 equal to percentile d, that is n star I, n means 2 star I, 2 that is 4, 2 2 is a 4. Okay. Because of the backslash n, control moves to new line, because of the backslash n, control moves to new line. Next iteration, I plus plus, I is incremented by 1, that is 3, I value becomes 3 now because of I plus plus. Next percentile d format specifier corresponding variable is n, n means 2 into percentile d corresponding format specifier variable is I means here 3 equal to percentile d, this corresponding variables are n star I, that is 2 star I value, where is from 1 to 10. So right now 3, 2 into 3, that is 6, so on we will get. Okay. This is the example program. For example, here I want to write another variable int ons. Here ons equal to table of n. Can I write? It leads to error. It leads to error because table is a void function, it does not return any value. So how can you write here? So ons stores a garbage value, moreover it leads to error. Where we get the error? Here in the function call we will get the error. Okay, you cannot write because it is a void function. So you are sending one value, so which value? N, n means what? Of type what? Integer. So here also int n, here also int n. So this is the example programs for the function callings. So in the next session we will see some more examples, and in the recursion function also we are if by chance if we get in the next session, I try to discuss on recursion function. Okay. So, if you get any doubts, send your doubts so that I can concentrate on your doubts, that is rajendra.apssdc@gmail.com. So, you can send your doubts to this mail ID. Send your doubts to this mail ID. I will respond to your doubts. Okay. Thank you.